The Time Cat Saved My Life, written by Niko. Summary. Part 4 of my Cat Army series, aka the USJ Attack. How will Izuku and his cat army survive? Allergies. That's how. Whoa, bro, your costume looks so cool, yelled the red-haired boy while they changed for heroics class. Izuku just smiled. It was incredibly similar to his vigilante outfit. A long sleeve shirt that was woven with metals to make it protect against most things. On top of that, he has a black cropped hoodie with dark and light green stripes, which started at his neck and went out towards his shoulders before going down. The hood has cat ears sewn into it, the inside of those being a nice shade of sage green. He had a mask sitting against his neck. It was made out of metal that has been painted back with glow-in-the-dark whiskers painted on it. The only noticeable difference between his hero costume and his vigilante costume was that his hero costume had a pair of light green, thigh-high boots that they had reinforced knees and ankle for support. His bow staff was condensed down, courtesy to the support course being awesome, and his knives, blunted of course, they weren't given deadly weapons out for training, were strapped onto his belt along with various medical supplies. Stitched into the cat bag was a red spy lily patch, a arrow-ace flag patch, as well as a few simple cat ones. For those who looked close enough, they would see a small moon and star earrings he had on, as long as a thin but strong necklace with two simple wedding bands. Fighting may not be the best place for jewelry, but sue him. There were few things left of his mentor, and he never takes them off. You look good, very much cat-like, Hideshi smirked, taking small steps to the sidewalk beside him. I had to pay some homage, Izuku laughed, picking up Shock and Jump. He disposed one on his head, Shock, and one on his shoulder, Jump, while Sneakers slipped through his legs, letting Izuku know where he was. Izuku did have a across-the-shoulder bag for the cats, a satchel, but he knew they preferred not to be in it. They only went in if Izuku demanded it unsafe for them to be out of it. Hitoshi just sighed. Let's hope no one makes the connection between you and a certain vigilante. Again, Izuku just laughed, and did one last once over for his and his brother's costumes. Hitoshi's simple and black and gray jumpsuit, with hints of indigo and purple, his capture weapon, which he had been working on since Izuku decided they needed to work harder for training, was wrapped around his arms instead of his neck. It was also a pale shade of purple instead of gray. What was really cool though was the black voice modifier around his neck. As long as it at least was able to record one sentence of someone, it could copy almost perfectly. It also had a range of pre-programmed voices as well. Because the brothers were talking to each other and getting the cats all ready, they missed what All Might was saying. But when they heads that they would be working together as villains for the exercise. All right, and they will be going against Team B, All Might shouted. Team B was Todoroki and Sarah. Come on, Toshi. It's going to be so much fun. Izuku laughed, dragging his brother behind him. The whole class shivered. Most could already sense that this match would, would end in some insane way. Okay, Izuku, what's the plan? Hitoshi asked as they entered the building. Todoroki's most likely going to try and ice the entire building and then walk in. We'll put the bomb on the top floor to give us time. The room won't instantly freeze as if whole, so we'll separate ourselves with suspend ourselves with your capture weapon from the ceiling and then drop onto the floor when the ceiling freezes. You can stay with the bomb and try to get Sarah. He'll he'll be more likely to respond. Oh, and try to hold eye contact with Sarah for at least 3 seconds before you brainwash him. We want to confuse people and watch your quirk activation. I'll take a breath, Izuku. I get it. I take Sarah on and you get Todoroki. I have timed and impact smoke bombs for you. You can take them with you and try to separate the two, okay? Now let's do this, Hitoshi laughed. Izuku nodded, pulling his mask onto his face and grinned. Todoroki and Sarah wouldn't even know what would hit them. When Team B stepped out, Todoroki didn't hesitate to freeze the building. Then, when they stepped into the building, they didn't expect the Yamazawa siblings to not be frozen to the ground. They did not expect smoke bombs to go off and separate them. Todoroki certainly didn't expect to be punched right in the stomach. As Sarah continued upwards toward where he believed the bomb to be, Todoroki fell into a fighting stance. Immediately, he was hit in the back. This continued until the smoke cleared, and he was able to finally land a punch back. That's when Todoroki felt something small but solid on into his feet and knocked him off balance just enough for his opponent, Izuku, to wrap his arms in capture tape, officially taking him down out of the match. Sarah, on the other hand, had gone ahead, swinging through each floor until he made it to the top. That's where he found a bomb, unmated, unmaintained, with no one around. Despite what people say about Sarah, he could at least tell this was most likely a trap, so he slowed down and started slowly walking forward. Get him, Toshi! He heard Izuku call out. Sarah whipped around, ready to fight, only to find no one was there. Almost as soon as Sarah's back was turned, he felt 2 feet slam into his back before capture tape was wrapped around him, and All Might called the end of the match. Almost immediately, he was unwrapped and was turned around to a smirking Hitoshi. What? What? What just happened? Sarah questioned. You'll have to figure out that. You have to figure that out for yourself. I'm not going to reveal my secrets. Okay. Sarah was fairly bewildered, but he could respect someone wanting to be mysterious. They met up with Todoroki and Izuku on the way down. Hitoshi immediately threw his arm around Izuku's shoulders. When they finally got back to the room with everyone else, the brothers were talking in low voices so Todoroki and Sarah couldn't overhear. Well done, boys. Now, could anyone tell me who who the MVP of the match is? All Might yelled, smiling, down at the four heroes in training. The girl with the ponytail raised her hand. I would say the MVP of the match would be the boy with the green hair. Izuku, my name is Izuku, Izuku supplied helpfully. Okay then. Thank you. Izuku, then. Thank you. He was able to come up with a plan to successfully take down Todoroki, something I know isn't an easy task. He was also able to successfully separate the opposite of the team, making it easier for his partner to protect the bomb. The girl talked confidently, but she sounded a tad bit unsure of herself. I would say that's correct, young lady. Izuku was. Actually, if I may, Izuku interrupted. All Might, while looking slightly shocked at being interrupted, nodded for the boy to continue. While I appreciate the compliment, I'd say the MVP of the match was Satoshi. He not only was able to perfectly execute hanging us from the ceiling to avoid Todoroki's eyes, but he was also able to perfectly capture Sarah without much fighting. He thought on his feet and didn't even use his quirk to distract Sarah, Izuku stated. Everyone looked fairly surprised at this procla- procla- proclamation, proclamation, except for Hitoshi, who knew his brother far too well. Well, I would say that the MVP of the match was the cats. Just being said, give me jump. I want to hold her. Hitoshi reached out towards Suzuki's bag. Izuku laughed and passed over the fluffy white cat. This was the longest she had ever been inside a building, so getting pets was much deserved. Izuku thought he was getting closer to making her a full-fledged house cat, when Shota and Zashi would love. Izuku smiled at his brother. He had spent too many years alone with just cats, and later his mentors, that having a brother was one of the best things that had ever happened. The battle trials continued on, but for the most part Izuku and Hitoshi quietly talked, not aware of the watchful eye of a particular split-haired boy. And that was part one of um, the time the cat saved my life. The next part of this is the USJ part. Um, I hope you enjoyed, and the author would always appreciate comments and kudos. Um, have a good night or day, or yeah.